Hello everyone, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly and welcome to Prince's Golf Club and this video on the 7 rules mistakes that every golfer makes. Now what you're going to watch is a conversation between myself and Jezz Ellwood where we'll talk through 7 different scenarios where players don't think they're breaking the rules but actually they are, and it can cost them penalty shots. Now if you have any questions or you think we've missed anything, please do leave some comments below, but let's get out there now. Let's take a look at the 7 rules mistakes that every golfer makes. Well, that's gone down the right-hand side. There's quite a lot of thick rough over there, so I know that that's in danger and I might lose that ball. And I really need to hit a provisional here, Jezz.
Yeah.
But there's a mistake that some golfers make that can end up costing them penalty shots. What is it?
Well, the mistake is not making it obvious that the next ball you hit is a provisional ball, which you have to do either via declaring it a provisional ball, by saying you're going to follow the procedures in Rule 18.3, or in some other way making it obvious that this ball is only to be used if you can't find the first one. So phrases like, I'm going to hit another one just in case, are deemed okay if you go into the interpretations on the rules.
Right, but I think we would advise people just to be, for the avoidance of doubt, just to say, I'm going to hit a provisional, just to be clear.
It's the simplest way, definitely.
And then give me an example of a phrase that you think wouldn't work in this scenario.
I'm going to hit another, I'm going to reload. They're not implying there's any doubt, and therefore could be taken to read that this is the ball you now want to count, and in fact it will be the ball that now counts if you don't make it clear it's a provisional, and therefore if you find your original ball in the middle of the fairway you wouldn't be able to proceed with it.
Right, so as it happens, I have another ball in my pocket, Titleist 2, green circle around the number. It's clearly identifiable as different from the first ball that I hit, so I'm going to declare this as a provisional and then hopefully I'll be able to find my first one. Okay, so we're on the 5th hole here on the Himalayas 9 at Prince's, and I've hit my tee shot out here to the right-hand side, and I'd say I'm 80% sure this is my ball, but crucially, I can't see any of my markings on it. I don't know for sure it's mine. Jezz, what's the mistakes people make in this position?
Yeah, I mean, the big mistake people make is they'll just wander over, pick the ball up, have a look at it, plonk it down, say, yes, it's mine.
Right.
And the mistake is that you have to mark the position of the ball first before you do that.
Right, so tee-peg him, right next to it, pick it up. Yep, that's mine. Hopefully you can see that on camera. It's Titleist 2 with a green circle around the number, and then get it back as close as possible to the original spot.
Try and put it back in exactly the same spot as much as you can.
There you go.
There you go. I think that the problem is that when the new rules came in, part of that procedure was done away with. You no longer have to have someone come over and observe the process, but you do still have to mark the position of the ball. And I'm sure you'll have played with someone who just, whenever they've lost their ball in the rough, just wanders over, picks it up, plonks it back down.
Yeah.
But if you're playing in a competition, you can't do that.
Yeah, so one to be wary of in this sort of scenario. Right, I don't really fancy this shot, but I think I've got to take it on.
Got to get some club head speed on that, I think, tappers.
Go.
Well, it's putting.
It just. Okay, so this one is about sprinkler heads. And the sort of situation that I'm in here, Jezz, which is I'm just off the green. It's a links golf course here at Prince's. The fringes are cut very tightly, so I really, really want to putt this.
Yes.
But that sprinkler head is on my line. I think a lot of times in this scenario, people will automatically think, well, I get a drop here. That's not always the case, is it?
It's not always the case. The sprinkler head, under the rules of golf, has to be interfering with the lie of your ball or your area of intended stance or swing. So your ball's not lying on it, your stance is nowhere near it, and if you make a little stroke with your putter there, you can see that it's nowhere near interfering. So
unfortunately, it's not interfering with my stroke whatsoever.
So whilst the desire to putt it persuades some people that it gives them the right to take a drop here, you can actually only drop this ball if there's a local rule that allows such a drop close to the green. And such a local rule does exist. It will typically say that the sprinkler head has to be within 2 club lengths of the green, and your ball has to lie within 2 club lengths of the sprinkler head, which is right on your line.
In which case I would get a drop, and you'd find that out usually on the back of the scorecard?
Back of the scorecard would have that local rule if it was in force, or the club notice board.
Yes. So, I mean, I'm just not going to chip this, because if I chip it, I'm definitely bringing the double hit into play, Jezz. So I'm going to, even though it's right on my line, I'm going to putt this anyway. I'm going to just hit it just to the right-hand side and see what happens. Oh, just hit it over the top of it. Well, I missed my line completely.
I think the ball was actually airborne when it went over the sprinkler
head. It just popped
anyway.
over the top of it. But it's one well worth remembering. If you are tempted just to move your ball, if it's close to a sprinkler head just off the green, check up the back of the scorecard first. Right, so for this one, we're on the fringe again, and there's a pitch mark just in front of my ball here, probably about a foot, maybe a foot and a half in front of my ball, right on my line. I really want to putt this because I'm not the best chipper, so putting this would definitely be my shot. Every instinct I have, Jezz, is telling me, oh, I can repair that pitch mark, but beware.
Yeah, well, beware because you can't. The only circumstance in which you could repair that is if it was created after your ball had come to rest. So if another player's ball had landed just in front of there and spun back or kicked on, then you could repair it. But if that pitch mark was there before your ball came to rest, then on the fringe, you can't touch it.
So even in this scenario, if that's my pitch mark, I can't repair it until after I've played my next shot?
Indeed not, no.
So what happens, Jezz, if there's a pitch mark on the green on my line? Can I repair that?
Yeah, you can repair a pitch mark on the green at any time, regardless of where your ball is lying. So there's no problem there. And this is only an issue if that is exactly on your line. So it would be improving the conditions for your next shot. If it's, 4 or 5 inches to the side, then you're probably fine.
Yeah.
But you might still get someone query it. But if you can say for sure that wasn't on my line, so therefore I've not improved anything, you would probably be okay.
Yeah, but the safest thing in that scenario would be just leave it and then repair it
because
after
it doesn't matter anyway, exactly.
Yep, so just beware. You might want to be doing the best thing by the condition of the golf course, but resist the temptation to repair this pitch mark in this situation, otherwise you'll get a penalty. Okay, so this part is about search time. We're all going to need to take a moment to look for a ball at some point during a round of golf. Jezz, what's the advice here?
Well, the advice is that you don't have quite as long as you used to have, and I think most people have cottoned on to that. But what you've got to remember is that, do you ever play with anyone who actually times a search?
No.
No. So you've now got to not time your search closer to 3 minutes than 5 minutes, if you like. The rules say you have 3 minutes to find the ball from the moment you or your caddy arrive in the search area.
Now, one thing that's quite worth remembering when it comes to searching for a ball is that if you are using your wedge and you're looking around and you accidentally move your ball, what happens in that scenario?
Well, that's the good news, that you've only got 3 minutes, but you can be a little bit more thorough perhaps, because you're no longer penalised if you move your own ball during the search. You have to replace the ball as best as possible where it was lying exactly. But you're no longer penalised, so there's no disincentive to get really thoroughly involved, especially as you now only have 3 minutes.
Yeah, so there you have it. If you find yourself in a position like this, have a good look for it, but only take 3 minutes. Okay, Jezz, this one is about nearest point of complete relief.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing to say here is that it's only one position.
Yes.
You don't get a choice of a few different spots and then pick the best one.
Yeah.
It's one position, and it's really well emphasised by where we are here, isn't it?
This is a good example because there's a sleepered path here, you get relief from it. The flag is over there. You would want to try and drop on this side where the grass is considerably shorter.
I would definitely want to drop somewhere over there.
But the problem here is to drop on this side, not nearer the hole, you've probably got to come back to maybe about there.
Yeah, possibly.
And that is considerably further away than the point over there, which you're desperately trying to avoid because it's knee-high grass.
The truth is it's probably only 3 or 4 steps for me to get back to here. And this, ultimately, where my feet are completely off the path, is my nearest point of relief. There's no two ways about that.
That is your nearest point of complete relief, and you have to drop over there or decide not to drop and play it off the path if you want to.
So as Jezz said, the mistake to avoid here is choosing a spot that's a bit of a better place to drop the ball that's actually not your nearest point of complete relief. Okay, so the next one on our list to look at is when a golf ball is and is not out of bounds, which in a scenario like this, when you've got posts and it's right on that line, is quite hard to tell. But Jezz, what's the advice here for people?
Well, certainly in this scenario, it's very, very close. But I think what people perhaps get confused about sometimes is which side of this stake or a line on the ground is out of bounds. The rules say the line for out of bounds between two stakes would be the course side edge of those stakes. I'm on the course side, you're out of bounds. So this is the out of bounds line here, not here.
Right, okay.
So a ball must be wholly out of bounds for it to be deemed out of bounds. So if this ball here was at that point there, that is in bounds. If that ball was there, that ball is now out of bounds.
Yes.
So a ball, if there was a line here, the ball could be lying on the line and you might think, oh, I'm all right. But it depends which side of the line it is and how wide that line is.
It's a really tricky one, but we've all been in scenarios, I think, where we've been on the golf course and a golf ball has been on that line. It's been really close and it is hard to tell. Hopefully what Jezz has explained there will help clear up any confusion you might have. So there you have it. That's our list of 7 rules mistakes that every golfer makes. If you like the video, please do hit the like button. And also, if you have any questions, leave comments below. If you think we've missed anything that's really important, again, we'd love to hear from you. But that's it for now from Prince's Golf Club. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.